Jesus. I am Jesus's. We are Jesus's. And I don't mean we are little Jesus. I mean possessive. We belong to him. Man, I wanted to change this. Does anybody here not know what I'm referring to when I say, I am Groot? I am Groot is a phrase from a comic book, movie, animated TV, whatever, from Guardians of the Galaxy. If you're not familiar, maybe a grandkid or a kid or something, pop culture reference here. Now don't take this too far. And when this came to me this morning while I was in my morning meditations, I was like, this is really cool, God. Give me more if you want me to share this. And when I did, I really pictured kind of my normal little group of teens and young adults that normally sit right there. And okay, and I came and I just kept getting more and more, and it was going with the worship, and I was like, but Lord, this is not the audience. He said, do it. So I'm going to do it. What I Am Groot comes from is this little character named Groot. He looks like a tree, and he's alive, and he runs around, and he's made of wood and leaves, and he can grow and do these neat little things. It's a silly superhero thing, and don't take any analogy too far with it. The metaphor only works if you don't push it. But if you know anything about the character, he's in with the group of guys who want to try to do some good, but they also really want to get what's theirs and a little of what's yours and whatever they can. And they're not always the best. They're kind of dirty heroes. They're the broken who stand for other broken. They're just trying to do a little good and survive, and also try to get some for themselves because they want the reward. Can't fault them too much for that. And sometimes they're a good influence on little Groot, who seems to be pretty just loving and I'll do whatever. Just want to be part. I just want to belong, and I just want to be a part and help. And sometimes they lead him into some things he shouldn't get into. And sometimes he's very afraid. And sometimes he gets hurt, and it does seem to be quite painful. But the thing is, why is this important? Because he always, you cut his arm off, and a few seconds later, it grows back as that limb grows back, and sometimes quite a bit stronger, or he can reach it out further. Every blow he takes that chips a little kindling off of him, it is restored, and he knows that. No, he doesn't want to feel the pain. He does get afraid, and boy, when he sees fire coming, he wants to run because wood and fire don't mix too well. But he also knows in that fear, in that moment, that no matter what happens, I'm going to be back. I'm going to be here. Even when he gets shredded, and I mean shredded, to the point of basically there's nothing left of him but a toothpick. When that seed within him is put within that soil, it begins to grow again, and he is restored. And he always just has this little attitude, and he always just has one little word. He says, I am Groot. I am Groot. Or he just says Groot. And he grows, and he keeps getting restored. He faces his fear. He gets shredded. Sometimes he does it for others, sacrificing, experiencing the pain and facing the fear he doesn't want to face, because he knows that no matter how bad it hurts, he's going to live through it. But the ones he's trying to save, the ones he's trying to help, the ones he's trying to reach, they might not. If they get shredded the way he's getting shredded, they're not going to survive. So he'll step in and get shredded. And then he'll grow because he's got a life within him that they don't have. There's something regenerative and restorative inside of him. Now, I don't want to push this metaphor too far, so I'm going to stop there. Where this came from was this morning I was sitting in front of my new desk, new to me, old desk that got yesterday, and got it set up and putting my knickknacks and my collectibles and stuff where I can. And so now, this morning I realized for the first time as I was leaning back in my chair, I could see my little Groot beanie baby and my Spider-Man beanie baby and my Black Panther, because those are three of my favorite Marvel deals. But I was looking at Groot and I was thinking about that no matter how many times I've been shredded, Jesus has restored. He has given me healing and restoration. Sometimes it took a long time because I got in the way. But he has always been faithful to protect me, keep me, and restore and heal me every single time, no matter if I was down to a toothpick size or felt like I was, or if I just had a little damage. He always restored. But the other side of that is, no matter what he's facing, Groot's always, I am Groot. Groot? I am Groot. And then he just, okay, this is what we got to do. It's going to hurt, but all right. And he does it. And it's just one word. Everything is one word. Everybody around him interprets what he's saying or tries to figure it out in context. And so do we when we're watching it. But he's just got that one word. And you know what? I find that I get restored a lot quicker when I also just have one word. Jesus. No matter what I'm facing, no matter what I'm going through, no matter what you're facing, there's an answer. Jesus. I am Jesus's. I belong to Jesus. You're not going to destroy me. This isn't what it has to be. God's got something different. I don't have to be afraid. Wood chippers don't scare me because it doesn't matter what the enemy or my own mind or what society may do to try to chop me up and burn me down. There is a life within me that cannot be quenched because I belong to Jesus. And no matter what damage is done to me or has been done to me, life can grow again, and he will restore all that has been destroyed. That was not intended. What was destroyed that was intended, who you were always intended to be, he will restore and heal. That which was burned away, that needed to get burned away, he won't restore that. Thank God he'll set you free from that. You don't have to grow with the parasites still attached to you when you grow back with restoration. Jesus, God himself, wrapped himself in flesh to become one of us so that he could experience what we experience and show us what we were always supposed to do. Not be good. Live in submission to the throne of the Father. To receive the love of the Father and respond by loving him back. And then loving others because of it. And you know what? We can't do that. Not perfectly. Not all the time. We can't even want to. Or let me rephrase that. Maybe y'all are every single one of you, a lot better than me. I can't even want to do that all the time. Sometimes I just want to sit in my little shadow, pout, and self-care and comfort myself. That's what I want. Jesus did what we were always supposed to do, couldn't, can't, don't always want to. And then, not as an example. Not as an example for us to follow. As the sacrificial lamb who's going to get sentenced for my crime and yours. For every time I chose to be an enemy of my Creator rather than His servant. Every time I'd shredded somebody else's life. My guilt, my shame, and my condemnation went on Jesus on that cross, and He bore it for me. And yours did too. And He bore it for you. And He died. He bled out and died on that cross. In my place. In your place. So that we could be clean before God. No more guilt. No more shame. So we don't have to be afraid of being shredded and being hurt, being taken advantage of, being vulnerable. Because we're actually safe no matter what it looks like we're being chipped apart as. Oh, but Jesus didn't stay dead. He rose victorious, conquering sin, death, the grave. So now, because He lives, we can, who put our faith and trust in Him and just say, I see what you did for me and I'm grateful. I don't know why you love me, but I'm glad you did and I follow you. I trust your work because I can never do it. He brings us to life with Him. That life that keeps coming no matter how much you've been shredded. He makes His very home within us by His Spirit. Changing us. Him doing the work from the inside out. Giving us the power to say no to what I want to do and yes to what He wants to do for the first time in my life, and do it with joy. And realize that it's actually the easier, softer way, better way to live. With peace and joy and hope and love and contentment. Oh, doesn't mean I'm never going to feel afraid. Doesn't mean I'm never going to want to run from the fire. It just means that once it finally clicks in my head that I know I need to turn around and face it, I can know that He is with me and I will not be shredded because He lives. I can face whatever I have to face. And so can you. If you believe that at all, you are welcome to come to the table of the Lord. To take the bread, little cracker, and the cup of grape juice. Go back to your seat and spend a few minutes thinking about, the shredding that you've done to your own life and others. The shredding that others have done to you that you still need to be restored of. Thank God that He has forgiven you because Jesus paid the price. Forgive the ones who hurt you like Jesus forgave you, and pray that they find the peace that you're getting from God. And then spend a few minutes focusing on the fact that He is our life and our hope and our refuge, and thank Him for the work that He has done. You are His and clean before Him because of what He did. And then just let Him refresh you and restore you and strengthen your heart. Come now as you will.